computer, but.
All right, it's recorded.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Tracy DeMario, and I'm so excited tonight to have Victoria and Jay Turner are going to share some takeaways from their very first Sensi Leadership Retreat, which took place last week in Cancun, Mexico. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you guys.
All right, thank you.
Hi, okay, so we just wanted to first introduce ourselves for those who don't know us. So we started our journey with Sensi in 2021, December 31st. So we're almost hitting our 4-year mark here in a little bit. And yeah, and so me and the Mr. met 23 years ago next month. And so, yeah, and we're doing this thing together. We're making this a family business and we're all about it. So we did have the opportunity recently to be invited on a rare invitation to go to leadership. And we decided at last minute to try to make it happen. And we are so glad we did. There was a lot of opportunities once we got there that we didn't even realize we were going to have just by meeting people. Anyways, we'll talk about that more in the training. However, I'm gonna let the Mr. talk.
All right, well, first I had to meet this girl, Victoria, during when I was in the Army. She was in the Air Force. We met in Korea and we were best friends, and we said, it would be nice to go ahead and just be with each other for the rest of our lives. And so just to let you know, it's love is true. I feel it every day when I look at her. But Sensi then popped into our lives, and I guess she ended up having a second love. So I'm like, okay, I mean that's better than somebody else.
She's got to share me now.
I know I have to share with Sensi, but I'm okay with that because every time when I see her and she talks about it, she's always smiling. She has a big glow about it when she's talking to her friends, families, and she just loves everybody. That she has just so much love to give to everybody. What, you about to cut me off? Go ahead.
I am.
I know.
That's how I roll.
I know.
I can only take so much mushy stuff, and then I gotta go.
Whatever.
I still love you though. Anyways, so to get to the point, we just found this new video from Eminem and The Rock, and maybe he's a little bit of eye candy for me, but that's not the point. That's not why I'm playing it. I'm playing it because it's really deep and motivational. Now does have some explicit language in it. I'm going to fast forward through part of it. If you want to go back and watch the whole video on your own, that's fine. But if you just listen to the beginning and the end of this song, it's just really good. So we're going to play that, and then we're going to hit the training hard. So really, really just try to really just listen to it.
Can't hear it.
Can't hear.
Can you hear it?
No.
How do you?
Let's see.
You have your speaker on?
Yeah.
Says I'm sharing it. Hold on. I know there's a way.
Okay.
There's a way to share, and it says share with video. So let me see.
Hey,
Yeah, we could see it. We just couldn't hear it. We were getting the closed captions.
Yeah,
see you got to hear it though. One participant multiple advanced sharing options. Let's see.
All participants.
No, that has nothing to do with hearing it. Hold on.
I can just put it on your phone and then hold it up to.
Well.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna bother me. This is such a good one.
I can just put it on your phone and then hold.
Then do it, because they're gonna hear this. You're gonna hear it. I'm telling you, it's that.
All right,
good.
then stop the share.
We're gonna stop the share. He's gonna just play it on my phone.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, but I'm telling you, if you get a chance, look this up, because it minus the language.
There you go.
They might have a clean version somewhere. You never know.
They might, but I mean, even the language, even though it's bad, I'm telling you, it's hear this. Hold on.
All right, so while she's doing that, I don't want some dead space. Let me get this back and stop the screen sharing. Stop share. There you go. All right, yeah, so the trip to Cancun was a blast. We had a blast. I have to say, we was hesitant on it and we're like, was it worth it? Yes. Yes. And I repeat, yes. Yes, it was. We met so many people. We had so much it's just like our minds and our heads wanted to explode with all the information that was given to us. And it's like we had so many aha moments. There were so many nuggets that was dropped around that we kept on picking up.
Okay.
So,
As much
all
as
right,
I love
what
hearing
up,
you,
bro?
I love hearing you speak.
No,
I
you
do,
don't.
I do, I do, I do believe in Jay. Hold on. Okay, you ready? Okay. I'm gonna put it up. Please tell me if you can't hear it. Are you ready?
You got to turn it on.
And he said, I'm ready to go to sleep now. And I'm saying to you, what if all of us took that attitude after we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through? What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off. It's about power. You stay hungry for your power. Even the 100 hours. It takes what's out. It's like it's from born of my pain. My culture banging with strange. I change the game so information. If you want to bring it to the masses, a face to face. Now we escalate. When I have to put these answers, like a dream.
I mean, it's really good. There's just got to fast forward.
Pull it back a little bit. Pull it back a little bit more.
Well, I heard about the car getting repoed and that you can count on me.
They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day.
Okay, I mean, but if you really were able to watch it, the video, and heard his words,
it's basically saying don't let people tear you down, and don't give up on your dreams. And if people, like at the end, like he says, don't tell people that you're having a bad day. Tell them that you're
tired.
Yeah, that you're tired.
Don't make excuses.
Yeah, don't make excuses. Tell them that you're having a character building day.
Ooh, I like it.
Anyways, if you really listen to the words of the beginning and the end, the middle gets a little bit, it gets a little bit explicit, but the meaning of the song is about winning, and I love that.
Yes, and pushing through when you're tired.
Very good. Okay.
All right. So let's just jump into it. All right. So
you don't quite how I planned, but we're gonna push through.
All right. You're gonna start from the beginning?
Yeah. So when we were there, we were able to sit with or actually listen through several different SSDs who talked about different topics. And one of the topics, Jen Audette talked about home parties. And we really, 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 really love this idea. So we wanted to kind of share that with you, because we have always shied away from home parties. And when we heard her idea, we thought, oh my gosh, this idea, we really want to try to push it ourselves. And it just seemed really easy and kind of foolproof. So basically, when she first comes in, I'm gonna let you do your part. I'm just talking about when she sets it up, right?
Okay.
So
well, there goes my notes, because she's gonna take over. Go ahead.
No, when
go ahead.
When the host comes in, she gives them 3 set circles with string on them, and she tells the host her job is to try to get rid of them by the end of the party to host a party.
Okay.
Anyways, to host a party, and she does her setup by just bringing in one bag to make it as simple as possible. Because she just basically says if you bring in a bunch of stuff into the house, nobody's going to want to do it.
Thank you. Okay, so Victoria's so excited about this, but we needed to start from the very beginning. Okay, so home parties. There's so many different home parties that you can be doing. You know, everybody says they don't like home parties, but like Victoria said, we fell in love with the one that Jen had told us about. But there's like different ways to do home parties. There's online, you know, you could do a Facebook party or a Zoom party. You know, there's social media. You can do a Insta, you know, TikTok or X party and everything for them. If you don't know about it, Google it. But you can do a text party. You know, you can do a basket party and then the face-to-face party. There's many different types of face-to-face parties that you can do. I mean, it's going to be face-to-face, but you know, you can do face-to-face at your house, you know, and that's basically when you find somebody that wants to do a home party and they don't want to use their house, and you can tell them, hey, you know, you can use my house, and call it a VIP party because you're doing it at your house, you know. So you can also have an open house where you open up your house for 2 days and you just let people come through and shop, you know. You can do that, and you also can have a fundraiser party. So this is one of the things that we took away from one of the nuggets that we picked up, that we're like, oh, we didn't think about doing a fundraiser party like that. Well, the fundraiser, you'll have for each, like if you have a basketball team, volleyball team, soccer team, or any school teams, you can go and assign a certain time to each player to bring their family and friends to your house so that you can do a party for them. You know, the
So it's almost like each player has their own party, but yet it's a fundraiser and as a whole.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to pick that up. Yeah. And then of course you can have the regular, you know, have the host a party at their house. And then there's also, if you don't want them to come to your house and you don't want to go to their house, you can find a little local establishment that has a back area that you can do it. Like we used to do parties at IHOP. IHOP had a separate room from everything that you could just ask them, hey, can I, and it's free. You just ask them, hey, you know, they're going to say, as long as you order something, then y'all can have the party back there and stuff. So that's good. Let's see what else. You have, let's see, you have to have 3 to 4 parties in a month. And that's the like the golden nugget for parties. Like they at least have a minimum of 3 or 4 parties.
You know,
And
I recently attended one of the Spark trainings, and one of the people who attended had a really great idea, which is just so simple. Sometimes just someone saying it out loud makes sense. I've done mystery parties through Facebook, but I've never thought to do an open house where they had an open house and decided to make a mystery host out of the open house. So they told people to come, and then as they came, said they were going to do a mystery host. And I thought that was a really cute idea. And I don't even know why, that just seems so simple. But yet it ended up being a really good deal for her. And I'm like, oh, I mean, it makes sense. And I've done them for Facebook, but yeah, I never really thought about that. Have an open house, make a mystery host out of it. So I thought that was,
Yeah, you
What's
could put
that?
everybody, have them put their name in a jar or something like that. That's a good idea.
so I thought that was cool that they shared that in through the Spark.
You gotta lay her down if you're gonna take your pants off.
Victoria, you'll need to go into the participants to mute people because you're the host.
Sorry.
Well, that's gone.
All right, got it.
all right. Everybody's good. Can you hear me? All right. So let me see. Why don't you go and unmute?
Go ahead.
All right, so let's talk about what to do before the party, the actual party. All right, before the party, you first need to this is very important. At the very beginning, before the party, you need to first believe in the products that you are showing. You know, everybody can tell if you really don't like a product and stuff, but make sure that you at least bring the ones that you like, that you love, you know. And then the other most important thing is believe in yourself when you go through. You know, when you go do it, you're going to get no's. We already know that. You know, you're going to get looks and you're going to get like, oh, here, this is another party thing. But, you know, believe in yourself and, you know, it'll show through everything. Then this is, you also, before the party, you tell the host their goal. From what we got, everybody says that you should tell the host that their goal is to get their party to 600. Why? Because if they have that in their mind, then they have somewhere to shoot for. Because if you don't tell them, then they're like, okay, if I get an order or two, then I get an order or two. But at the same time, you're also getting ready to flip the party. So if they pass 500, guess what? You flip it. So another thing to do before the party, you should challenge yourself at least. So when I say challenge yourself before the party or during the party, you make sure that you go in there with like you have 10 bracelets on or 10 pennies or like 10 items in one pocket, because you want to have conversations about hosting and joining during that party at least 10 times. So every time when you bring it up about hosting or joining, you're going to take off one of those bracelets and you're going to put it on the other hand. So that way you can keep tracking. You don't get distracted of like, oh, I don't know where I was. Or you can take 10 pennies from one pocket to the other, or some type of item from one side to the other, you know, so that way you don't get distracted. All right, you want let's see.
Oh, so back to where we
Now
to where
you
we
can
jumped
go.
because I have my squirrel moment. He was really back
Yes.
in.
Now we're at that
Whatever.
part.
So when you come to the party, you want to have one bag when you're coming into the house. So when I say one bag, basically, if you got your starter kit, what's in your starter kit should be sufficient. However, as you grow, sometimes you think, oh my gosh, what should I bring? It's hard to determine because there's so many amazing things like what should I take? Really, you should just take one of each product line at a bare minimal, at the most, I should say. And so for that, usually it's like the warmer of the month. If you have to pick a warmer, or if there's a special holiday warmer, something along those lines, and it should all fit in one bag. And when I say bag, I don't know if you remember, since used to have a duffel bag that they sold, something along that size or less. Because if you make it any more complicated than that, nobody's going to want to join your team. Nobody's going to want to do it. Nobody's going to want to have to carry 5 boxes of stuff into someone's house. They're going to just think it's not worth it. So if you want people to be on your team and you want people to do what you do, make it as easy as possible. So make sure you have a display that is easy to set up. And truthfully, you just really need the testy and the smelly stuff if you want to be perfectly honest. So have that set up. And then again, when you first arrive, make sure you give your scent circles, your 3 scent circles on a string, on a necklace to your host, and give her the task of trying to get rid of them by getting people to host a party. And it's just a way of giving her a task. And the reason you're going to do that is because you're going to have other things going on throughout your party to also get parties. But by doing this task for her, it's just by the time you're done with the things we're going to tell you, it would be clearly nearly impossible not to have a party booked unless she doesn't have anybody show up. And that's out of your control, obviously. So that's what you're going to do as far as when you get there and setting up. And then Mr. Turner is going to explain how he's going to run the party.
All right.
Once we're set up.
All right. So once you arrive at the party, make sure that you give yourself time enough just to let you know, if you want to jump in at any time to ask questions or give something, just unmute yourself, and just let us hear from you. All right. This is like comfortable, laid back talking, talking with family, friends, All right, so make sure that you give yourself enough time to talk to the host, to make sure that you have time to set up everything, let the host know how it's going to be ran, and to make sure that, like she said, that she understands the whole point of the scent circle necklace. All right, then you're going to set up all the stuff. You're going to hide all the samples. Okay, as soon as people come in, they're going to just like, okay, I want to smell. No, you don't want them smelling. Well, okay, some
Not yet,
smells.
not yet.
You don't want them smelling the samples. All right. All right. So then you're gonna once everybody starts.
And then of course, you want to greet yourself
Yes.
or greet yourself. You want to greet the guests as they come through the door, because you want people to know who you are. You want to build a rapport with the new guests that come in because they are your future customers and possible teamies anyways. So it's always best to, put your best foot forward with them as well.
Yes. All right. So now what everybody's been waiting for is the card party. All right. So now that everybody's came in, you already introduced yourself. You greeted everybody, so everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows where your setup is located. Now they're all sitting down waiting for this big party. And then you tell them that you're not going to talk about the products. All right? No, you're not going to talk about the products because
you're not going to tell them that.
Yes. Yes, you
No.
are. You say
No, you're not.
yes.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Go
Listen, just listen.
ahead.
You never let me finish the
I will
story.
let you finish the story and
All right.
then I'll correct
I'm a
you.
storyteller. All right. Okay, so they come in and you say, okay, I know everybody knows about Scentsy. So I'm not going to stand here and just talk about the products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you answer questions because I already know either you know Scentsy and you have questions, or really you just, or or you don't know about Scentsy and you have questions. So either way, you have questions. So we're going to do this. We are going to, for every question that you ask, you get 2 cards. And everybody's going to ask you, well, what's the cards for? You're going to tell them you want to collect these cards because at the end of collecting the cards, there's going to be a prize. Go ahead. You can go from there.
Okay. Yay.
Since you.
So no.
I'm okay. My feelings hurt. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go.
Okay. So I'll go. So when you have your deck of cards, and when Jen Odette said she had cards that were from all the places she visited the trip she won from Scentsy, or earned, I should say, not won. However, if you're newer and you haven't earned trips yet, you can make the cards about anything you want in your life. But you basically tell them, you have your setup in the side, and you just basically tell them, you can ask me anything you want, about anything you want. So it doesn't have to be about Scentsy. It could be about me personally, just whatever you want to ask me, but you have to ask me a question to earn 2 cards. The more cards you have, the more are worth points to win the prize at the end. So they can ask you anything. And
Yes.
when they're done, if they don't ask about the products, you don't talk about the products. However, you don't say, don't ask me about Scentsy, da, da, da. I'm just saying.
No, I said I'm not going to talk right now about
But I don't.
Scentsy.
But if they want to ask about it, I want them to be free to ask. So I feel like wording it like that makes them not
Okay.
So if they want to ask me, they can ask me.
You run your party how you want to run it. I'll run it.
I want them to ask me.
You're right.
But if they don't, she said if they don't ask you though,
Okay.
you don't talk about it.
Okay, so when it feels like the questions are stopping and you feel like, okay, now it's starting to slow down, nobody has any more questions. So then you want to offer them, well, why don't you ask me about like how I got started with Scentsy? So remember, in the beginning, you're trying to get conversations, at least 10 conversations in there about joining or hosting and stuff. So this is a great way to talk about why you joined. So they can have questions about it or how they can get started and everything. So once all those questions about yourself is starting to die down, because now everybody's antsy and everybody wants to start counting how many cards they have, because by now you've gotten rid of most of your deck from all the questions. So you go and you say, well, hold on, before we start counting, I will give you 4 cards if you book a party right now. So that is a great way of getting your parties booked, because one, they already want to win the prize.
People are competitive.
People are very competitive and everything. So there you go. Once that dies down, after everybody, whoever says that they're going to book a party and got their 4, then they're like, all right, can we count now? And you're like, wait a minute, I will give you 4 more cards if you want to talk to me about joining later. If you set up, and so so that's 4 more cards just so that they can talk about it. Okay, and then Victoria, it's on you.
So basically, she also just wanted to reiterate, you could say 4, 8 cards, whatever.
Yeah,
All
it's
that's
your
up to
party.
you. It's, how many cards you give, but it's just to entice them. But the gift itself can be a room spray and a scent circle. It could be, they said, and it doesn't even have to be a Scentsy. If you are just starting off or you don't have the means to do some extravagant gift, it could be a plate of cookies. I mean, people want cookies. I mean, people want other things too. So just so you know, don't think,
I want cookies.
I'm just saying, don't think it has to break the bank to do these gifts, and don't think people still won't want the gifts. So just be mindful of that. Don't think you always have to go all out to do all the things. So yeah. So either way, people are competitive. They might just be like, yeah, I'll take 4 and book a party, whatever. And so yeah.
Right. So there's also that's the card game. Now, you still want to get some more bookings, that you want to get as many bookings as you can. So on the table, you're going to bring a large box, like a little large warmer box or a small box. Okay. And then you're going to give everybody a slip to fill out with their names and everything on it. Right. And you're going to tell them, because there's prizes in front of the large box. Like you
Again,
said,
whatever you want it to
whatever
be.
you want it to be. And then you're going to tell them on a slip, it's going to have 0 to 10, mark how much you want to have a party, from 0 to 10. So if you're going to book a party, then put it in the big box. That way, 0 to 10.
If it's a 10, yeah.
Yeah. Then you want to book a party. If you just want to get into the drawing, then you put it in the small box. The small box is something small, other prize and everything. So that's another way of trying to book parties from that party. We also saw.
Hold on real quick. And then also,
oh yeah, go ahead.
If at checkout you realized they didn't win a prize, but they did all the things and they didn't win a prize at checkout, you can have these envelopes that say, you probably can't see that say no peeking. And you can say, okay, you did all these things and I still see, you have one last chance. You can't open this though, unless you're willing to book a party, if you want to take that chance. And if they open it, then obviously they have to book a party. And then when they open it, you can put stuff in there like, get a free mini warmer once your party closes, or whatever you want it to say. But of course, you use your perpetual reward. So whatever you can afford to do, of course, that would be like $15 or whatever. So you put the no peeking envelopes to see if you can entice them one last chance. That's another option for you as well at checkout if they haven't booked anything and or talk about joining.
Right.
And then Jay has one more
So
idea that he had came up. with.
Well, I didn't come
We'll come
up.
up with, but it's not Jenna.
that I've
That's
seen.
another idea that we thought was a really good one.
All right, so let's say that once instead of doing the no peek envelope and everything, when everybody comes to the party, you pass them a bag.
Everybody.
Everybody gets a bag, and you don't tell them what's in it. Okay. So you go through, do the card party and everything, and then at the end, you tell them, because everybody's going to want to know what's the bag, because you can tell them, do not open the bag until I tell you to. All right. So everybody's like, what's in the bag? So you tell them, whoever books a party can open their bag and have the prize that's in it. All right. So what's in the bag? Well, let's see. Victoria, did you?
Did I what?
Oh, there you go. All right. And just, it can be any bag, just make it look pretty.
It could be a Ziploc bag. If you
Ziploc
really
bag.
don't have the funds, it doesn't have to be anything
Yeah.
fancy.
All right. And there's a card in it too. Oh, can't see. That's a bright light. All right. So they pull it out. They say, okay, I'm going to book it, but they have to book it.
If they open it, they have to book it. So the way they explained it is that if everyone's holding a bag, instead of having it at the table where you say, I have these 3 bags, first 3 who get it gets to do it, it takes the pressure off people of feeling like they're going up to grabbing it. If everyone's holding a bag, they feel more apt to wanting to open it versus feeling like they have to go up and grab something, putting them on the spot. They're more likely to if everyone's holding it. That's the way it was explained.
Right. So here goes the bag. Okay, inside of the bag, you have Victoria. Oh,
You have a catalog,
bam.
a sales slip. You have 3 old testers,
I dropped one.
3 old testers, and a card.
And a card.
And when they open the card, it will say, let's party, 3 free wax bars when you close your party, when you close a qualifying party. So of course you can obviously make that to anything you want it to say.
And in the card, it has your information on it, your website and everything. I know you can't see it. Here, do me
It's
too.
okay if they don't see it, you
Yeah.
explained it.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. All right. So it has that. And then they fill out their name, their number, and the date that y'all agreed of having the party. All right. So that way, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That way that you have it in your calendar and they have it on theirs. And then, like they said, they do not get the prize until they have a qualifying party. Now, all the bags doesn't say, let's party. So they book it. Some of them has, what was the other one?
Some of them just have like a free,
Oh yeah, just free. Just
like a free like prize or
yeah,
something.
free prize. Or no, as a free a prize bag. Like you could bring a little prize bag of old stuff that something small like testers or whatever, and they can go through your free bag and pull a prize out from that. But you want to have at least 3 of them that says book. Okay.
And the point of having all this in the bag is because you already have their host packet ready for them. So then you have their sales receipt, their catalog, some samples. So that way they could take it with them and already get started once they're going to have their party. So then you don't have to meet up with them later. They already got their pre-host packet already ready for them to go. So that's another one for getting host. So as far as partying and host and getting more parties from parties, that's pretty much our I feel like our takeaway from leadership as far as what we learned. They just basically said try to have 3 to 4 parties a month, try to have at least 5 or more guests. And I mean, there was a lot as far as if we recapped leadership. There was a lot more we learned. Those were just the home parties part of it all. As you saw from Peggy's post, Jackie shared about the Tic Tacs and putting the labels on your Tic Tacs to help join, or putting a label on your room sprays or counter clean, and passing those to anybody you see at like your coffee shops or your waiters and waitresses. Just sharing that with like 50 people a month. Like, you really just have to just share.
Do what you can handle.
Yes, yes. Anybody have any questions about
Yeah.
what we shared?
I guess unmute yourself, and you have any questions?
Kind of blurting a lot at you. And any questions about leadership or what? Anything? I know Peggy was there, so I know she knows.
With the room sprays, when you give them out, is it samples of the room sprays? Okay.
They did the little clear bottles you get from Amazon, and then they threw a label on it with a QR code. And then she said that, you get their name and number, and then follow up with them in like a few days and say, obviously follow up, and then ask like, what was your thoughts on that? Do you want some? Do you need some? That type of stuff. Make sure you get their info. Of course.
Absolutely, because otherwise you're just giving it away for free.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So make sure you get their info, but of course, when you're passing it out, make that little connect, like, oh, I really like your personality. Try this. I just want you to
Give them
try
a
this.
compliment.
Yeah, and then say, hey, if you don't mind, I'll take your number and just follow up to see what you think of this in a couple of days. Whatever whatever it takes to get that connection started, I guess.
If you guys want to stop the recording, we can continue, but that way it'll be easier for you to do the shorter they are, the easier they are to upload to
Yeah.
YouTube.
There.
So
Thank
by recording this, does this mean this will be available later on? Because I